showing you my formula to make the easiest pork tenderloin you've ever had. It's gonna be crusty on the outside, juicy on the inside, and it'll be on the table in about 30 minutes. Pork tenderloin to me is one of those unsung heroes. It's an inexpensive way to feed your family. It is so versatile. We can make countless meals with a pork tenderloin, but today I'm showing you the way they make it in the restaurant. First things first, you buy your pork tenderloin. Typically they come in about 1 to 1.5 pound pieces. As far as any prep that needs to be done to a pork tenderloin, it's very minimal. The only thing that you're supposed to do is remove the silver skin. If you don't want to, you do you. This right here is the silver skin. You can see it's kind of like shiny under there. You wanna grab a thin, sharp knife and you wanna take the point and slide it under the skin, kind of angle it a little upwards so you don't take off a bunch of unnecessary meat. It's not gonna hurt anything if you leave the silver skin on. The whole point in removing it is that it removes any toughness that might be in that silver skin. I'm sharing with you my very simple recipe, but what I want you to remember is that it's all about the method and technique here. And once you nail down this method, you can zhuzh it up however you want. First step is to season it. I'm gonna just keep it nice, simple, and dry here with just salt and pepper, a little bit of granulated garlic, and my old school way of making it has some herbes de Provence. You wanna season evenly and liberally to develop a nice crust. I always like to season the other side once I get it in the pan. So step 1 is to season, next step is to sear. Come on. The method here involves searing it on the stovetop and then finishing it off in the oven. That's the way restaurants cook a lot of their meats, and that's the way I love doing this pork tenderloin. So you wanna be sure you are using an oven-proof skillet. If you don't have an oven-proof skillet, you can sear it in the pan and then put it in an oven-proof baking dish to finish in the oven. You wanna be sure and get it nice and hot because we've gotta develop that crust. And I'm going in with some olive oil. You want your oil almost shimmering. You don't want it smoking too much or then it's gotten too hot. Once your skillet is hot, we're gonna place our meat down, and the key here is do not touch it. Let it develop its crust, and then when it naturally releases from the pan, you know it's time to flip it. That's what you wanna hear. Now that that's in, I'm gonna season the other side. Beautiful brown crust. Third step is to deglaze the pan. So I love using white wine for this. It combines with those herbs. It makes a delicious pan sauce. The juices naturally come out of the meat, so you've got a really savory tasting sauce. If you don't want to use wine, you can just use water or chicken stock, whatever you want. I'm gonna add just enough to cover the bottom of the skillet. It's been less than 10 minutes and we're ready for our final step, which is finish it in the oven. We've seasoned, we've seared, deglazed, and now finish in the oven. Pork tenderloin does not take nearly as long as some people think. They think of it more like a roast. It's not that at all. This will be ready in just about 15 more minutes in the oven. This smells incredible. The only ingredient you probably have to buy for this is the pork tenderloin. Like any well-roasted meat, you've got to let it rest or it'll just go bone dry when you go to slice it. So I'm gonna let this sit here for about 10 minutes while I gather the rest of my dinner. Rested and ready to go. It cuts like butter. Look at that. Slightly pink, super juicy. It's a perfect pork tenderloin. I hope y'all can tell how easy this is cutting. Let's not forget about those pan juices. It's like liquid gold. Between the sear and the natural pan sauce that it creates, I'm telling you, you gotta trust me. This pork tenderloin will rival any beef tenderloin you put next to it for a fraction of the price. This is the perfect recipe for entertaining and impressing all at once. This has thyme. Oh, hell, I don't remember what all it has in it.